Imagine being strong enough to get into college. Not just any college, but a university that takes more than just wishing to gain entrance. Imagine leaping all of the hurdles, like exceptional grades, noteworthy SAT scores, dynamic essays, and heartfelt recommendations. You find yourself accepted to a door-opening future, but ironically, you find yourself homeless at the same time. Not the kind of homeless that you might see under the freeway overpass, but the kind that you never want anyone on campus to notice. The kind of homeless that you go out of your way to disguise so that nobody will ever really know that you're different. It's hard enough just being a student under normal conditions, normal as in not having to worry about whether you'll eat or sleep on a given day, or have a place to put your personal belongings without the fear of it disappearing while you go to class. But for the 1 out of 10 college students who are actually homeless, surviving school is much more than just passing grades. It's living under the radar. And despite the incredible odds against them, it's having the faith to succeed.
I met Lewis one of my first days of graduate school. He and I were both mechanical engineering PhD students at UCLA. We met on a service project for the UCLA Volunteer Day program at a middle school. And as I got to know Lewis, we started volunteering down on Skid Row, passing out meals to homeless individuals down there.
And one evening, we met someone who was going to community college while living on Skid Row. And we felt like that didn't sit well with us because we felt a kinship with him as a fellow student.
Walking around when we started seeing individuals sleeping in places that they didn't really look like they should be sleeping. We have a graduate lounge in our department, and it always looked like there was somebody sleeping in there. And upon further investigation, we found that a number of campus buildings had students that seemed to be spending the night there. We became really passionate about this cause, and over time started to notice that homelessness was an issue that's also prevalent at a school like UCLA.
We couldn't imagine what it would be like to go to school while having to live on the street.
And we had this idea to try to do something about it.
I met Luke first through rock climbing through a friend, and he and I just started chatting about like general interests, and both of us were very interested in helping out the homeless population. And within a couple weeks, we were meeting, talking about this thing called Bruin Shelter, which is now Students for Students.
I think that people of faith have something inside of them that they are compelled to help those that are down and out. And so to be able to help somebody that by no fault of their own has found themselves to be homeless, I think is commendable. I think that people of faith, myself included, have seen that this is a mission. This is something that we're called to do, to be able to help somebody that they're doing the right thing and they're still not able to make it. That way then it's our success, not just somebody that graduate, it's our success.
One out of 10 students, college students in America is homeless. 1 out of 10. 10%. It's a lot. 10%. That's a lot, and they're invisible. They are very good at being under the radar. And they're very creative in problem solving. Extremely creative. And very diligent in doing what they have to make it to class, to make it to their job, whether it's on campus and work study or off campus. it adds a lot of time not having that stability and not knowing where you're gonna sleep that night after class, or not knowing how you're gonna where you're gonna eat after work before class. So you find places, and there's not really a plan. You're just surviving.
I think students should work hard to excel in their classes and to get their diploma. I don't think they should have to work hard to find food to eat, or a stable place to sleep, or a safe place to sleep. A lot of the times it's a multitude of things happening at the same time. I think students coming from the foster care system definitely have a gap in resources oftentimes, and it's not quite a level playing field for them. One resident that I really connected with, he was experiencing some family strife, and that led to him not having a stable place to stay. I think one of the more long-standing myths is that college students don't work, that they should work 2 to 3 jobs in order to get themselves through college. And the truth is, through the Bureau of Labor Statistics, students are already doing that. They're already working multiple part-time jobs and are still stacking up massive amounts of student debt.
I think the fact that our shelter is at a church really shows how faith can play a huge role in helping out people. I think that faith allows people to find empathy, to help them out. I think it just provides a really great focus on solving the problem.
I think that not many people throughout the country understand what a big problem this is, and that it's been growing for many years. And I think that if anything, I would like to leave that with those who will see this, is that college homelessness definitely exists, and it's a problem within our community, and it's something that we can fix.
What's really important to me about this, the whole project with Students for Students, is that it is student-generated, and when they're given the ability and the authority to focus and to really explore who they are and what they believe and how they can utilize that for good, it's a really powerful testimony to their spirit, but also to how we can become better together, and where we can begin to dismantle those things that separate us across barriers of language or culture or tradition or even belief, and really allow the Spirit of God, the Spirit of kindness, to motivate us to build a better world.
It took a lot of community building. We would go out into the community, reach out to different synagogues, churches, temples, and we would meet the people there and sort of pitch the idea of housing students experiencing homelessness. Most of the time we were met with a lot of sympathetic ears and people who were people who thought it was a worthwhile cause, but the circumstances weren't right for their congregation. And at some point, we crossed paths with Darcy, and she introduced us to the folks here at Mount Olive, and immediately they said, yes, we want to lend our space to house people who really need it.
I knew immediately that the answer to his dilemma of finding a location to house this shelter that he had this vision and dream for was going to be with the faith community.
And Darcy came to me one day, soon after I came, and maybe a year in, and said, you need to meet this young man named Lewis. And so I said, okay. She said, he needs a space, and I think you have space. And Lewis had a vision of starting a shelter for homeless students for UCLA. And And the story is, as he tells it, as you know, that he went to 50 different houses of worship of various faiths, and they said no, and this was the 51st, and we said yes.
Luke and I did some, estimations on how much it would cost to start this, and we were thinking a 3-month season was around 30 grand. If we start from the assumption that this shelter has to 100% happen because students are being squeezed on both ends, and the funding opportunities weren't coming through, then the last possible thought that I had was, I'll sacrifice my own housing in order to make sure that 10 other students can have housing. My parents weren't aware that I was doing that for some time. I understood their reaction as parents. They were incredibly concerned. They're also from different generation, a different culture, so there was that gap. But over time, after talking with them about the purpose of it, they truly understood and they supported me in the best way that they could.
I would want students experiencing housing insecurity to know, kind of first and foremost, that it's nothing to be ashamed of. That some of us have privileges that others of us don't. It's okay to be in a situation like that. Anyone can fall on hard times, and that not all of us have safety nets.
The atmosphere of home is something that is underappreciated. That sense of belonging, the power of the dinner table, that's something that we know is equally important as the tangible basic needs. It's about the physical, mental, and emotional health of a whole person.
Cook for somebody, you really put your love into that meal. You really express yourself through a medium that, not only we enjoy, but we need to survive. Healthy, fresh, delicious food made for one another is this incredible opportunity to bond. And when we sit down and we all put our phones away and we just chit-chat for an hour, how often do you really get to do that? We really connect on a very special level.
We really try to help out our peers, and especially we really sympathize with college students because they're going through the same experience, like taking midterms, taking tests, having homework, all that stress combined with the fact that they have to worry about where they're going to sleep the next night, or where they're going to take their shower, where they're going to get their food from.
I think it's more about how humans treat humans, and it's about humanity, and it's about how we should treat other people, how we feel we would like to be treated if we were in that situation.
In the beginning, the city was a little nervous about having people stay overnight in a facility that wasn't built for overnight. So the renovations that are happening will make the facility safe for fire and safe for our residents. That's good.
It really made a connection for me because I'm a UCLA grad, number one, and number two, our 3 kids, adult children now, attended Mount Olive daycare. And I thought, this is a great opportunity to really do something socially responsible.
He has had all of his firm and all that donated. And then he said, I'm going to find you a contractor. And I'm going to find you a contractor who also do all the materials.
I've been really moved at how everyone is driven by this sense of what is the right thing to do. And seeing that faith in the eyes of everyone that's worked to make this project a reality has been really transformative.
shows you what one person who has a vision can do.